So Beth is going to talk about what goes on under the hood of Oyster South. I know that a lot of people ask sort of what is Oyster South and what it does. So Beth, I'll let you take it over.
Good morning. Make sure this thing, okay. So I know Bill just did a ton of thank yous. I'm just going to do one more. I just want to thank everybody who is here, who's traveled. I know some people have traveled a short distance, a long distance. Without our community here, we have nothing. And together, it's just awesome. So I'm like super excited, obviously. So just thank you, everybody, for coming. We look forward to this every year. We were joking because I was like, you might have to give my talk. Like, I'm not going to have a voice this morning because I want to talk to each and every one of you. And if I haven't yet, come and find me. So I just thank you for being here. We appreciate everybody coming and just being so enthusiastic. So with that, I thought I would kind of give a summary of some of the things that we've been involved with since we've started over the past couple of years. And so, as you know, we're pretty casual. So if there's anything you have questions about, just ask me at the end or, anytime later when you see me. So in the beginning, we started off as an informal coalition of farmers, extension agents, and restaurant folks. It was a wonderful bunch of people, many of whom are still here, but we didn't have a framework to raise funds for some of the things that we wanted to support. So in 2016, we formalized into a 501c3 nonprofit that supports the southern oyster farming community. And we expanded that to include, of course, growers, chefs, shuckers, distributors, gear suppliers, all sorts of others who support that mission. So I like to tell people, hey, do you like oysters? Yes? Come on, come join us. So I feel like if you're an oyster fan in any way, please come be part of the community. So we've definitely expanded. So the two main branches that make up Oyster South, the first is what we call the industry. So that's really the people in the water growing, people preparing oysters, the chefs, the shuckers, dealers, all the folks we have listed up here. And this component of Oyster South has grown already to over 200 members, which is awesome. I'm super happy about that. We also do have a general public branch that's open to people who are not involved in any of this, and they just want to come, hang out, eat oysters. So we haven't really developed this to the fullest potential yet, and we're working on that. So certainly, if anybody has creative ideas to help us with that, we're always open to it. So we're just glad, we are glad that the industry has embraced this organization, this community that we're a part of so much. Because could you imagine if you're like, hey, I like oysters, I want to join this group, but oh wait, there are like 2 farmers or no chefs, or just the perception of it would not be conducive to people joining a group like ours. So we're happy that everybody has hopped on board. So what do we do? And John Pelly, I know you're in the back. I'm sorry your face got chopped off here, but that's John Pelly from Georgia at the Oyster Roast for a reason, down at the University of Georgia. Brian Rackley, awesome picture when it was, all full in frame. Oh, see? Well, there you go then. So some of the things we do, one of the primary things we do is fundraising, and the premier event that we do is Landlocked. That's every October in Decatur, Georgia. And how many people in here have participated in Landlocked? Let's see, just a quick show of hands. Awesome, thank you all. And let me ask real quick, do you all have fun when we're there? Yes, awesome. So Brian, Jesse, Miles, Matt, Kimball House, they really curate this event to really help us out to the maximum, and it is amazing. They have world-class chefs. We have, how many is it, like 20 plus farmers from all over the country come in. Barbecue, I can no longer eat any other barbecue but Buxton House. They have amazing people come in, and everybody's so supportive and excited to raise money for us as an organization to help the industry. So that happens every October. So the second main thing is to facilitate information exchange with things like this, our annual symposium. We have our industry newsletter that we send out quarterly to our members. And also we've applied for grants, which I'll talk about a little bit later, some programs that we've gotten like peer-to-peer. And also, the most fun part to me, although it's all fun, the general promotion and storytelling. I have to work to not say the word oyster like every other sentence, like wherever I go, as I'm sure many of you do too. So we really try to elevate, support, and promote the Southern Farm-Raised oyster community in any way that we can. And we've gotten some really great media coverage because of that. So as I mentioned, Landlocked, here's one of our group pictures. Some quick numbers for you up there. We've done this in 2017 and 2018. We've raised over $20,000 each year to support various things. The first year, gosh, we had I think it was like a couple hundred. And then, the next year it was over 300, so we had a really great turnout. As I mentioned, lots of oyster farmers, chefs, the public showed up. And again, this is a way to I like to say, it's like sneaking in your vegetables for people who have kids. Like, hey, this is good for you. Like, people are learning and they don't even know they're learning. They come to our events, they eat the oysters, they talk to the farmers. The FaceTime is so important. And for all the farmers who come, thank you. Y'all do a great job. So it's a way to really educate people in a way that they don't even realize that they're learning stuff sometimes. Then they go home and they tell people and they tell their friends. And more people go to Kimball House and other restaurants and to Henrietta's. It's awesome. The first year, all of the proceeds were donated to the University of Georgia, to their shellfish hatchery and their marine extension program to help shellfish farming move forward in that state. And then this past year, all of the proceeds were used for a program called Need for Seed, which was a grant-based program to help support oyster hatcheries to provide seed to growers throughout the Gulf. And as an organization, we've helped support other events by general promotion and helping to connect the farmers with folks and to just generally get the word out there. So this is not a comprehensive list, but some of the ones that we've supported in the past couple of years in Pensacola, Pete and Pearls, the Hangout Oyster Festival, where we had a panel discussion, Shucked and Sauced, which was in Charleston recently, and also the Panacea Oyster Festival. So we really try to just help give shout outs on social media or through emails and really magnifying the message and the great work that other people do with promoting. So like many of you, it's work smarter, not harder. I'm like, they've got great content on their website or on their social media. We're just going to help push that out there to help magnify it. As you can tell, I'm really shy about helping to promote stuff. So donations to Oyster South. We love helping people, but it's also such a lesson in humility and being humble and accepting help. And we are just so grateful for that. And some of the things that have happened that are just fantastic the past couple of years, there's a restaurant, Fin and Fino, and they reached out to us and said, hey, we do this concept on our menu where we support a charity of our choice for a limited amount of time. We have a set menu, a set price point, and we explain to the guests what the particular organization is about, what they're doing, and a portion of that will go directly to you. And I was like, what, is this a joke? Come on, seriously? And it was legit. And they donated, directly to us, which was fantastic. So that's one thing that happened that was just great. And we are really excited that, to work with them in the future, hopefully. And Two Girls, One Shuck and Parlo Beer Lab, Becky Wasden and her team, they came up with this concept after Hurricane Michael. Hey, what can we do to help? We like oysters, we like beer. And Becky and her team went over to the beer lab and they brewed up a batch of oyster stouts. And for every pint sold, there's a $1 donated directly to Oyster South, and then Two Girls, One Shuck will match that. And at this point, it's looking to be about $1,000, which is fantastic. So thank you for that, because everybody loves beer and oysters. So it was a great way, again, with the messaging in a creative way. When people were coming into the brewery and they were hosting and having people in, it was like, oh, sure, we like this, we like beer, we like oysters, but what is the bigger story? I know I'm waving my hands. I'm sorry. I'll stop. So the last thing was the Panhandle Proud effort. And we had some T-shirts over at our merchandise table. And Pensacola Bay Oyster Company was instrumental in helping us with that. They had T-shirts printed up to help with the hurricane relief after Hurricane Michael. So the T-shirts were about $20 a piece, and a portion of that gets donated directly to those folks. So is Donnie in here? Donnie or Jane? Or they? Jane, louder. Thanks, Jane. So as I mentioned, information exchange. annual symposium, quarterly newsletter. If you are a paid member and you're not getting this, please tell us. We'll make sure you will definitely get all the back issues in the current one as well. And again, assist various grant-funded projects, the peer-to-peer program, which is supported in part by National Sea Grant, and also the Turner Foundation, helping to address hurdles to aquaculture in Georgia. But then that also helps us, look at that as a model and how to help other states as well. So we have had a few symposia now under our belts, and the first one was in Auburn, Alabama, back in 2017. We had about 100 attendees, over 50 oyster farmers, and then we thought, okay, this actually might work. Like, I'm a big fan. Let's throw people in a room, talk, let's do good things. Let's see if it works the next year. And we went to Charleston and had 175 people sign up, or just over that. And at that point, it was over 100 farmers, which we were very happy with. This year, we topped out at, 235 people. And they had to do the venue did not even know they could fit this many seats in here. So it was sold out very early, so we're thrilled with that. The peer-to-peer fellowship program, this past year, over 17 awards were given through National Sea Grant, and we helped facilitate that as well. And this supported growers with trips around the United States and out of country, including locations to, Thailand, Canada, and Australia as well. We help with some of the promotion and then with some additional funding provided to this. So I know during the tech talks yesterday, y'all saw some of that, that people had, gone out, taken some videos. So this is a way to just really facilitate people learning from other growers or learning from other people in the industry to help them help themselves. Overall brand promotion of specific farms and then Oyster South in general. We listed a few examples here, and these have included recently Okra Magazine, Garden and Gun, and Discovery Channel, promotions with various chefs and TV shows. And I cannot tell you how many times people call Bill or call me and say, hey, we've got this tour, can we come? And we really like to connect the dots. I mean, that's what we feel like we are best at, is connecting people and putting the right people in touch. So we're very happy to be able to do that. We also try to multiply the social media impact of members, as I mentioned, who are already putting really great pictures and videos and content out there. So the financial structure of Oyster South, all the net proceeds that we get from our fundraising goes directly into grant programs. None of these funds are used for operating expenses. The symposium is intended to cover all the costs, and the operating expenses are solely supported by member dues, the newsletter advertisements, merchandise, and also any grant funds that we do secure. And the biggest change is our big expanded board of directors, and I'm happy to announce this. I'm super excited. So I'm going to embarrass people if they're in the room. I'm just going to ask you to stand real quick. Ryan Belcher, who was a grower in North Carolina. Matt Christensen from Kimball House. Bill. All right, I'm just going to go. Julie Davis, Jim Gosson, Boris Guerrero, Jennifer Cornegay, Ernest McIntosh, JT McKissick. I feel like I'm in class here. I love it. Donnie McMahon, but Jane. Brian Rackley, Danita Sasser, Chef Julia Sullivan, Becky Wasden, and Bill Walton. You got to stand. Thank you all for being on the new board. We really appreciate it. So just to talk about the need for seed grants, throughout the region, and the rapid growth of the industry has led to an increased demand for oyster hatchery seed and production. 5 minutes already, oh boy, okay. This situation has been exacerbated by all sorts of regulatory things. And basically to address this issue, we decided, hey, we need to help the industry as best we can with an immediate and positive impact. And so we decided to support a program to provide seed to commercial oyster farms in the region. So we are happy to announce the need for seed recipients for 2019 are these folks here: Ladies Island Oyster, L3 Hatchery, Mill Point Aquaculture, and Pensacola Bay Oyster Company, as well as Triple N Oyster Farm. So congratulations to all the recipients. We did have several very good proposals come in, and it was all very close. So our committee that helped with the selection process, thank you. And it was a tight race to the end, but we're happy for the folks that did win. And so I know we have several oyster lovers in the room, and I just want to thank everybody for being here again. And if y'all have any questions, if we have time, I'm happy to take it. If not, come find me later. Thank you all.